U.S. renews warning to China about providing lethal weapons to Russia for war in Ukraine.
Here's a summary of the article.
The United States warned again on February 26 that there will be real costs if China provides lethal military assistance to Russia for use in its war in Ukraine. White House National Security Advisor Jake Sullivan said Washington was monitoring Beijing's actions, and China so far has not taken the option of providing such aid off the table. He added in a separate interview with U.S. broadcaster ABC that weapons provided to Russia for the purpose of the war in Ukraine would be used to bombard cities and kill civilians, and China should want no part of that. We also don't see that a final decision has been made yet, and we don't see evidence of actual shipments of lethal equipment, Burns said on U.S. broadcaster CBS. Representative Michael McCaul, chairman of the House Foreign Affairs Committee, said on ABC that U.S. intelligence shows that drones are among the lethal weapons China has considered sending to Russia. Calling the relationship between China and Russia an unholy alliance, McCaul said it's been reported that China is contemplating sending 100 drones and other lethal weapons. Ukraine needs to seize the momentum now and said the United States should give them all the weapons they need now, he said. Russia has said the West's involvement has only inflamed the situation, and Putin on February 26 accused NATO members of taking part in the war by donating arms.
This post received a score of 4,800, with an upvote ratio of 96%. Here are the top comments in response to this article.
Isn't killing civilians the main thing China's army is good at though?
They haven't been at war for a very long time, that much is for sure. The last time was in 1979, and even that was just 3 weeks of war that was mostly just meant to demonstrate that the Soviet Union would not help Vietnam. The PRC army certainly has no experience fighting actual wars. But China's army will not play a role in the Ukraine conflict anyway. What is being alleged is that some Chinese military companies might supply weapons like drones to Russia's army.
The Chinese government is good at killing in camps, prisons, and during protests.
I'm living in CIV.
Gandhi about to launch nukes.
So peaceful he's rolled back to 9,999 aggression.
Maybe all we need to do is tell China that any real estate interests their nationals purchased in the U.S. are going to be seized by our government. Permanently. My cousin was just approached recently by a Chinese corporation in the Bay Area and wanted to give him $1.5 million signing bonus and a good hefty commission percentage from each property if he serves to help them acquire vast amounts of property on West Coast. The Chinese government cannot be trusted.
Individual Chinese buying property in major international cities are not CCP agents. These people are hedging their assets away from China. In fact, the CCP heavily restricts capital outflow because they want to keep that money in their economy.
The United States is China's largest international trading partner outside of certain international associations like ASEAN and the European Union. $4 billion with the U.S. trade leaving China a trade surplus of about $404. $3 billion, which is barely over a quarter of the total valuation of the trade with the U.S. and even further represents a trade deficit to China. China doesn't only hold the title of the world's factory, it gets to also hold further honorary titles such as the world's largest importer of fuel and agricultural products. So I would assume that maintaining favorable relations with influential trading partners is crucial to China's perceived economic prosperity.
I'd add that China will pretty much have to write off Taiwan as a to-do item for this century if Russia is soundly defeated in Ukraine. So if the Taiwan issue, they pretty much have to support Russia with lethal aid. China cannot take possession of the South China Sea with Taiwan in the way. They probably have some backup moves, but they're getting between a rock and a hard place.
Get ready to implement full sanctions on China. Basically to ban trade. It will be painful, but it may be necessary.
This video was automatically created by Reddit to speech. The article and comments in this video were selected from Reddit according to their upvotes, and any paraphrasing was performed by smmry.com, without any human intervention.